dog, but obviously they have been knocking on the devil's door a ton. They literally just played against Toronto, took them to a game 5, just faltered towards the end. But these guys are very close to solidifying themselves in the top spot. This could be the series where they do it.
Yeah, this series would go a long way to proving where Minnesota Rokkr really do belong. But the hard points are something we're going to have to speak about quite a lot, right? I mean, look how good OpTic have looked on this mode in particular. But something to note, when we played Rio, if you're Minnesota Rokkr up against Ultra, not that long ago, they dealt them their first hard point loss in quite some time on this map specifically. So it should be a very interesting one. Both these two teams, various records when it does come down to the hard point, but on this all new map, things can get maybe a little bit mixy where you wouldn't want to see if you're an OpTic Texas fan.
Well, I mean, look, the mix is something that these guys can thrive in. Like, Ton, let me tell you, OpTic is a good Rio team, but it is truly a square-up match because, as you pointed out, Rokkr looked great as well off the opening break. Super solid as well. Team kill might hurt you a little bit, but you're still in control of that time, and we've already seen his name pop up in the feud a few times. Accuracy and Vivid, in my mind, the men to watch from Rokkr. You can see OpTic really just flooding in, trying to find those extra kills. Can't quite get them. Rokkr built themselves a nice little lead.
Yeah, good play coming in from Rokkr already. 23 seconds on the clock, and thinking about this rotation, which will be coming in very, very shortly. Trying to find some kills over towards the middle, and eventually Shotzi and Dashi finding a break on through in some time, if only a few seconds. On the side of OpTic Texas, we start again moving over towards this P2 side now. You try to see the flip coming in from Rokkr, couldn't quite manage to find it. OpTic Texas now in control over towards the market side. Linzico going to try and come through the front door here. A couple of kills potentially going to fall their way. Got to find the first feud if you wanted to try and find this break. Lin's awakening, starting to find them. Contestants here.
That contest might just continue. I mean, Shotzi flies out, not actually getting the time, but yeah, this is a hill where the angles can just be out of control. The cars you can look under, the weird places you can play by, the pillars, that's really the hot dog stand that is seemingly indestructible. But for all the effort that you just had OpTic put in to actually win this rotation, they don't get any of the kills. Accuracy goes on a 4 spree, and now maybe for Rokkr, you've got these guys actually pinned so far deep in your spawn. You imagine that rotation in P3 is going to be completely free. So I mean, this is the hill that OpTic did a nice job on the rotation, but simply could not get enough time and still continue to be on the back foot.
Yeah, you 100% take that as a win if you're Rokkr, right? Probably lose out on the majority of the time that was up on offer, but you really do limit OpTic Texas to only the minimal amount. Over towards P3 now as the lobby will get underway. Accuracy going to just try and hold it from the back side. Doesn't want to get overflooded over towards this point if he can. Dashi with a big kill, though. That might break things open. Potential pinch on the cards, but the kill's coming through, but only for Vivid. Team kill alongside of it. Working out in Rokkr's favor. Some good time coming on through here, but a push coming over from the other side from the bridge was on the cards. Now from up top, not going to happen. Accuracy will say thank you very much. Couple of kills falls his way. Minnesota Rokkr, healthy little lead so far, chance.
Yeah, dude, Accuracy is straight up making plays. He goes on the 4 spree on P2 for the hill that they lost. We've just gotten a look at Accuracy on this hill where he is still continuing to put in the work. That's a 3 spree, backing OpTic down again. But even at the start of it, Accuracy was in the back, and he just completely stopped 2 OpTic players in their tracks to try to flank around the spawns. One player straight up gave up and then just tried to cut through boxes. So Accuracy right now, his presence and impact is being felt by OpTic. You're down by 60 points, and again, a rotation. OpTic are gonna be behind the game. A couple quick kills come through, so they're gonna make it mixy. But again, in the feed, you see it's Accuracy and Linz showing up again. Accuracy right now, that high impact player.
Lin's just trying to stay alive over towards the hot dog stand if you can. Finding one is big. If you can just slow OpTic Texas down a little bit more, that would have been massive. But Pred will eventually find the kill. But now for all of OpTic Texas, the one-dimensional push going to start coming through. Trophies on overtime. Just waiting for the opportune moment, waiting to try and find one pick, and then the rest of them will fly. But Vivid's going to start to lock it down here with Accuracy again. And you're right to make the call out. Accuracy having a really big game, sitting 11 and 5, but the break is going to start coming on through. Dashi with 2. Now Accuracy left on his own. Can't find the last kill, and Pred just about deals with him. But only for 15 seconds here, chance. That scoreline's getting a little bit ugly.
And we already know that OpTic, the only rotation they won was over towards P2. Couldn't convert that any time. And now they're losing the rotation again towards the new hill. So even when they've been ahead of the game, they haven't had success. And more so, they've just been consistently on the back foot. And that story is just going to continue. You're trying to set up a pinch, but look at the spawn that comes through. Unfortunate timing in the game. Quite literally does just be like that sometimes. So Kenny getting caught out. Minnesota continuing to run it up. And now the spawns are easy to read. OpTic getting pinned on the right right side of the map.
Yeah, tough one for OpTic there. Of course, you got the spawns over towards these trucks. If this side of the map is okay to find a push from, but you set up the pinch and the rest of Minnesota still spawning towards the back, you can't get it done. Accuracy holding it down with ease from this side. Shots are going to have one last bash at it, but 24 seconds to go. I think OpTic have got no other option than just continuously try to hit it. If they can get some bridge control to hit it to P1, that's not bad, but right now, accuracy is just soaking up that time. No problem whatsoever. Eventually, the break will come through, but that's feeling like the story of the first rotation so far. OpTic Texas will get in towards the end for 10 or 15, but that is it. Minnesota Rokkr well and truly running away with this one right now. My God, Linz.
And look, Texas, they don't have room to breathe. Like, even when they're fighting for the scrap trying to work the break on the right side of the map, Minnesota are just on them like some dogs right now. So it is not an easy thing to try to come back from. A couple kills go their way, and finally we see green on the left side of the feed and a nice little break for them to actually buy a little bit of clearance, try to stabilize in the game. But Rokkr has been typical. They bounce right back inside the time, not feeling the pressure, not feeling the heat. Rokkr right now, a clean look so far on Rio. Still a 100-point gap, and maybe some momentum back on OpTic's favor. Another clearance on the hill. They still got the right side spawns. This might be the start of the comeback time.
25 seconds left to go here. Over towards P1. You might be right. Kills starting to flow the way of OpTic Texas, and maybe it is going to take a rotation for them to get warmed up into this game. But so far, so good at the second time I'm asking. But Minnesota Rokkr, with that lead, will be able to start play with it, right? They'll be able to leave certain amount of time, certain amount of hills where you can just go for a rotation nice and early because you have that lead. They found themselves here over towards P2. Very first time by the looks of things, though. OpTic Texas, for all that they were holding down those spawns, haven't been able to get some control over towards this hill. So time starting to soak over towards the side of Rokkr. Vivid now will find a kill, pushing through the double doors. And if you are OpTic Texas, if anything, you are trapped in the spawn you wanted. Minnesota Rokkr frying at the moment.
I mean, it's the same thing. You're just getting held back from the front side of time, and right now OpTic don't really have time to waste. But the problem is, you try to make breaks towards the time. Two different AR players are what going to be holding you down. Awakening's got the cross, accuracy in the exact same spot he was in before. It's just a stranglehold on the power positions. A clean 4-man wipe in the back spawns again. The rotation to P3 could be absolutely devastating. Rokkr, they are just handling the map on this P2 hill.
Vivid just trying to lock down in and around the escalators, just trying to slow OpTic Texas down on this rotation. But the spawns are going to flip out now, so Texas will get a small amount of respite here. And we'll get something to go their way eventually, because really everything is working out for Rokkr right now. It's a 120-point lead, and it may well grow if Rokkr can find a break here. But OpTic Texas, first one's in. Vivid doesn't have a lot of support. He may well just go for it anyway. Kenny will deal with him, but you can see Rokkr just starting to set up over towards the back. They'll take this time on their break.
Time, though, is going to be a factor. That's actually a fantastic read by Dashy to take him down, and that's another fantastic play by OpTic to jump on the guys in the back spawns. The two players there from Rokkr were just looking to block any kills that came through. If OpTic had fallen, would have spawned across the map, but OpTic do the more difficult thing when the difficult gunfights now have actually set themselves up inside the time, looking to get this final 25 seconds. Rokkr maybe one final push to go for the break. They're soaring forward, but they're not going to get it. OpTic get a nice little wipe in for the final 15 seconds. It's under lock and key. OpTic have it secured, so might be losing gunfights along the way, but they're still getting that final bit of time. Going into that new hill down by about 70 seconds, and Chauncey knows gotta wait for the boys to get here, but obviously no one's gonna be flanking for OpTic. They gotta flood through the front.
That's a third kill for Vivid over towards the elbow side, so he'll be locking it down from the boxes. It's just such a hard cross, making number 4 for Vivid in this life. Shotty will eventually find a breakthrough. You need to find these kills. If you're OpTic, can't find the third. It's the next one there. Awakening goes absolutely massive as per usual. 210 now being breached by Minnesota Rokkr. They can win it here over towards this hill. Kenny now trying to find a breakthrough if he can, but Vivid again is playing his life so well towards that elbow side. The garage push going to start coming in here for OpTic Texas, but they need to start moving a lot quicker than they have been. Vivid again, another force spray locking it down. You just can't get past him.
Yeah, no, this is the Vivid special, man. I'm telling you, this is like one of the highest engaged, most accurate players we have in the league. Rio is a map where you expect this man to thrive, and he, as you pointed out, just inside of boxes, going on an absolute tear on both of the lives that he had. I mean, just on like a two-piece front, I think Rokkr have just been almost dominating the kill feed. It is going to be a victory lap on this rotation. Rokkr just going to be 2 points away from sealing the game. OpTic, pure desperation hour.
Oh, how can they hold this down? How can OpTic find a way back into this one? It looks impossible. It looks improbable. Rokkr have been so good across the entire map, and they're going to try and go for a break here from the top side. If they can find a kill over the top, Linz is going to be there to support, watching the flank. That's inevitably coming through. The stun is there. A bit of timing, though, and all of a sudden, Linz could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Linz, Vivid, find a way through, and OpTic Texas fall like dominoes towards the end of that game. It's a very convincing map number 1 for Rokkr. A huge win in Hardpoint to kick this series off.
Yeah, it's GG too. I mean, look, Rio is that brand new square up map. These are all teams trying to figure out exactly like where they're gonna lie in context of the league, because both OpTic and Rokkr came into this with a record of 1-0, so they're just thinking, hey, we're the better team, we're gonna chow them on it. But Rokkr chowed back, and that is a hell of a game too, because last time they played against Toronto, it was more or less the accuracy show, dominated the kills department, dominated the damage, and early on in this game, accuracy was doing the exact same thing, making those high impact plays. But eventually, maybe at the halfway point, Linz and Vivid just completely ran away with the game. I mean, effectively on cruise control, but their damage numbers and kills pretty much out of control. And I mean, OpTic quite literally did not have a response. I mean, the entire map, they had a couple good rotations over towards P2 to get the back spawns, but Rokkr effectively just handing it to him, hitting him in the back, and then just abusing him on that P2 to P3 rotation. So this is really just a clinic on Rio through and through. Minnesota, they're going to have all the highlights.
Now, I mean, for Rokkr here as well, now, on the new map, okay, it will take some teams a little bit of time to try and get used to it on the highest of levels, but for Rokkr now, that's the scalp of the 2 best hardpoint teams in the game, realistically, right? You take down Rokkr, you take down OpTic already on Rio. So, I mean, this is just a surefire way to make sure that you're never going to be playing it again over the rest of the season, to be honest with you, because now you set yourself up, you're looking really good on it. Some teams will be wanting to maybe throw that potential... I mean, it's a question mark, isn't it, for a lot of the teams? Well, still, it's still very.
It's like a yes, it's like a respect thing in the pick and bans, right? You get 2 wins like this, every single team from this point on is really gonna have to second guess. Like, okay, we know Rokkr is capable. Do we trust ourselves? We want to work on something else, but you know, it's sort of a square up map early on. But OpTic also chowed twice in this series. Like, Rio's a square up, but we also have a Karachi control later on, where Minnesota, arguably the best team in the game on that map. So OpTic are looking for the chow, and I think Rokkr might be happy for it. So talk about sort of the respect factor in the pick and bans. Rokkr, these have been like the little wiggle rooms of opportunity for these guys to get the series, and they keep getting wins like this. Again, the respect levels, they're just going up. Their stocks at an all-time high.
For OpTic Texas, there's probably a sense of, I want to say they're relying on hard points at this moment in time for a couple of series here and there. You lose the first one, and you're going into a search and destroy where, I mean, Minnesota Rokkr not a bad S&DT by any stretch, and we know OpTic struggles have necessarily been on that mode of, if anything. And then, as you mentioned, the Karachi control for map number 3. It's a scary looking series. All of a sudden, if you're part of the green wall, Terminal Search and Destroy is going to be coming up next, as we do change the pace very, very quickly. But that's a huge win for Rokkr. A really big win for Rokkr.
I mean, that fact cannot be understated too, because obviously the Karachi control mention of, like, you know, arguably Minnesota Rokkr, best team in the game on it. Those guys in Toronto had the best records, and they beat Toronto last week, so they're certainly happy to see the Karachi. But then that S&D as well, not only has S&D not exactly been the back pocket comfort sort of game mode for OpTic, but even on Terminal specifically, it's a 1-3 record. I know a couple of those losses are your round 10, round 11, so they've still been strong on the map, but the record does not tell that story. So it is 2 very dangerous maps for the green wall coming up, and you get to really test sort of their resolve and how much work that they've been able to put in on the break. Again, seeing them for the first time on Terminal in quite some time. But as far as the next 2 maps go, this is as happy as Minnesota Rokkr could be.
Well, who is going to be the players from either one of these 2 teams that's going to get the job done to try and get something going? Well, it could be Pred and Dashi in terms of search and destroy. I mean, look, the KDs look nice, right, Chance? But something's clearly going wrong when you do look at their record overall.
Oh, absolutely. But, you know, this is obviously part of the record is from the qualifying stages, making up for it a bit at the major. But I got to say, the KD's out of control for both of these guys so far, the improvements that they're making. A lot of Dashi's stats are sort of just expected in the sense that, like, you know, the kills per round he's getting is sort of like average for the league. But his KD being that solid is a benchmark for the team success. Pred, though, 2.0, that's just kind of bonkers. Like, that man's just having fun out there in search and destroy. So maybe he'll be the guy to really turn things around from OpTic, and someone needs to turn around for Minnesota just to collect the bomb. Awakening has it in hand. Linz, though, straight up the map. 0 time wasted, and the first blood might get traded out, but on a map like Terminal, if you're on offense, you'll take the 3v3.
And to find that pressure straight through library from Linz. Really good heads-up play. And Dashi, speaking of heads-up play, he's just wiped accuracies off his shoulders. And all of a sudden, Awakening is going to have to start getting aggressive to maybe try and find something for Rokkr. It's a really good start to the round. Vivid will find something to answer back. Dashi does fall. Shotzi and Pred taking on Awakening and Vivid. Next kill will be huge. Pred just trying to play his life. Rokkr seemingly rotating over towards A. Shotzi going to have to lock this down.
This question of, like, can they actually spot his gun peeking out from the door, or how good is this timing going to be? Shotzi gets it before the bomb gets planted and gets the timing for the guy on cockpit to not even be able to react. Heads up, high IQ play out of Shotzi, and as interesting as that round could have been for the SMGs on Rokkr making plays, Shotzi just slams the door. And yeah, that's pretty much free. Again, that is a play that comes down to timing. Shotzi absolutely nails it. Can't get any better than that.
No complaints. Good defensive hold from OpTic Texas to kick things off. Got a little bit scary for me when you see Linz just run straight through library. It's just a difficult push from that stage. You lose the gunfights over towards the escalators and things get scary, but irrelevant. OpTic will find those kills towards the end of the round, and they will find the round itself. Smoking the trophy down. Shotzi taking a couple of bullets. Will back on down. Pressure coming in over towards the A side. First blood would be massive. Vivid gonna have to back out. So the pressure is here from OpTic Texas, but Vivid turns at the right time. Dashi is there to answer back. 3 versus 3. Texas trying to make some inroads over towards the A side. Stun goes out. Chal comes in alongside of it. Pred is there. Really good team play coming in from OpTic Texas, and no answer from Rokkr so far.
Yeah, and in a 2v3, you actually see OpTic gonna pump the brakes and reposition. You don't want to get wall banged when you're in the airplane, so they're playing it safe. I mean, you have Shotzi, who started off in library. He's wrapped back to Burger just to sort of clear the map. So, I mean, OpTic knows nobody's flanking. One player is over by AC, and, you know, accuracy is still there. You got the intel. Shotzi's just going to play with him and get out of dodge. But, I mean, OpTic haven't bit on anything. Still worried about the plane pressure. Linz, those strikes to even things out to a 2v2. And all this time wasted might end up punishing OpTic.
25 seconds. Oh, Shotzi's on his way over. Oh, he doesn't get caught out by accuracy, but the information is there. Linz now just going to try and play his life. Huge kill if he can find it. Accuracy with the gunny onto Dashi. Linz knows exactly where Shotzi is. Bomb picked up, 13 seconds. Is he going to watch the cross, or is he just going to give it up a little bit? It looks like he's going to give it a shot into the back, though. Shotzi will just about get away and will have time to plant. Utility is there for Linz, but not enough to do anything about this bomb going down. Shotzi backing up. 1 versus 1, 40 seconds to go.
Yeah, and Linz doesn't have any intel on where Shotzi was able to go, other than he hasn't crossed out towards Xe. So Linz right now trying to clear as much of the map as possible. But on an intel front, you have to know Shotzi, massive advantage right now in this round.
Linz in a really, really sticky spot. Shotzi's just going to hold this down, going to go for the wide challenge. Just about maybe a little bit of fortune for Linz if he can get it, but Shotzi is offering is nothing up so far, just being the slippery little snake. Oh! But Linz guns him. Is he going to get there in time? Absolutely. My word. Absolutely shotguns him from there. Incredible from Linz. And they tie it up. Big round to kick things off there for Minnesota Rokkr. 1 apiece.
Oh, the new rookie against the previous rookie of the year in Shotzi's introduction gets the best of him in the 1v1, and it really just is a shred job in this moment. Shotzi overcommits on the chow, but the reason he does is because the gunfight in that situation, free 90% of the time, but the headshot multiplier with the MCW, one of the strongest things in this game. So Linz just straight up guns him down, and that is a massive bounce back round for Rokkr there. That could have been tragic. And speaking of tragic, I don't know if Pred did the damage on a teammate or just to himself, but that's an immediate 4v3, and that's immediate hitting the plane. Vivid doesn't even wait for the fall from his teammates, trusting himself. You got a 4v2 bomb down. This is the unlosable, and Vivid out here sealing the deal. You don't have time to break down previous rounds. Pred, I don't know what happened there, but that is costly.
Wow. I've seen better openings to S&D rounds, in fairness. OpTic Texas.
Look, Tom, that's a defense, too. Like, if you're messing up on offense on this map, like, all right, scratch it up, on to the next, but you throw away a defensive round, that is painful.
Yeah, that's tough. I think, you know, as soon as Minnesota Rokkr, because of the fact that Rokkr were actually pushing towards that site as well, right? Pred dies pretty much immediately there, like, oh, right, I mean, we heard the grenade go off. Where we go, and we're hitting the plane, right? Immediate push comes through from Rokkr. They find the kills towards the back, lock that one down. As free as you could possibly want. And as you mentioned, that's an attacking round underneath their belts now. If they can just solidify that with this defensive round, things are looking nice for Rokkr. Looks like it's going to be an A hit coming in here from OpTic Texas. Lin's over towards the B side, and it's going to be down to Vivid to try and slow them down, if anything. There's going to be some more watch from the other side. Oh, just get the bullets through the wall. That's a lot of damage, but not quite any result from it. Minnesota Rokkr trying to defend from the outside here. That bomb will likely go down now. Shots in through the wall, though, and Kenny will find Lin. So that's a big kill for them to find. Vivid still towards the back, but that bomb is down.
Oh, yeah, and they're so concerned about Shotzi, too. And, I mean, it's a 2v4. You have to do stun checks like that. That was so much damage done, but OpTic hold true, respond. Nice angle there from Kenny just to seal the deal. And, I mean, I don't know if they're going to do this every round, but that's the second straight up just A hit, bang out the plane, go crazy from OpTic. And they execute well both times. This time, though, they convert it into a dub. And, again, I don't know how much damage Vivid just did, rather, through that little terminal hangar, whatever it's called, but to come out on top and hold strong. That is a nice bounce back round.
When you need it. Lose defense, get an attack within the space of 2 rounds. OpTic Texas very much back into this one. Still very early in this search and destroy. For Rokkr, that's got to sting, though. I think you're right. You know, the amount of bullets that Vivid put through. I think he definitely spread that out, didn't he, between a couple of different members of OpTic Texas. So here we go. Looking like there's going to be a burger hit coming in here from the side of Rokkr. Dashi's got some work to do. Going to have to just back on down. Smoke out. If you can find anything here, that will be great. But Minnesota Rokkr, complete control of the site. Lins will find one. Lins will find the second. The child coming through. Incredible work from Rokkr. 4 versus 2. Bomb down. Usually defense is the more prime side here, Chance. But right now, attack's looking pretty saucy.
I mean, it's finally just aggression on terminal. If you play it slow and play for picks, like the team on defense has every advantage on the map. The one thing you can do on offense is just use your numbers and overwhelm them. I mean, that's almost like a poltergeist strategy there of like one smoke comes through and then the only thing Dashi's hearing in his ears is like, oh, they're here. Like they're ready. And by the time the smoke dissipates, Linz is already in your face popping pieces. And I mean, that's just not Linz. That was the entire squad that was there in that moment. So finally some aggression on offense, on terminal from both of these teams to a good deal of success. And I mean, now from Minnesota Rokkr, it feels like the onus is on them to respond. OpTic have just been flooding through plane, and now they're mixing things up too. So even if you wanted to stack A, pressure's now going towards B. Same old, Dashi already with the first blood.
Yeah, accuracy gets going, and all of a sudden you will have to back on down. You will have to give it up until you get those reinforcements who are very much here now. But it's taking his time. The thing is, for them, they're not sure how aggressive that OpTic Texas have been, but not aggressive enough. How on earth is Dashi able to find this gunfight? Backs on down. Fight still ensuing. It's a 3v2. Now make it a 3 versus 1 in the favor of OpTic Texas. Linz will find one. He will not find a second. They find the round. Bizarre, though. How does Dashi even find anything there?
Yeah, I was going to say that's brutal. That is the sort of moment of the round right there. If Vivid finds that kill, I think you end up having Rokkr clutch that one up because Pred would have been out of the picture. As soon as Dashi wins that one, now Pred gets the flank, gets a freebie kill in the back. But yeah, Vivid just drops the ball. I don't know why he's not expecting him to be prone, but I know it is kind of weird in this game on occasion to hit guys in the prone position. But either way, that is the key gunfight. Slips through the cracks for Vivid. Dashi executes, so a first blood for him. And obviously 6 total in the round, but all tied up on terminal.
Lynn's going to try and find this push once again. Oh, caught no man's land, just not where you want to be whatsoever. Smokes are out and they are away. Linz now finds himself in an advanced position. Rokkr going to try and play around this. The problem is that OpTic Texas know exactly where he is. Going to try and be aggressive, though. SMG in hand. He's just going to cause all sorts of problems. But Shotzi there with the cover. He's moving so fast as well to try and find something, Chance, but I think it was just a moment of panic. As soon as he gets out of library, he's in a tough spot. 3 versus 4, but in favor of Texas, make it now a 4 versus 2. And this attack is starting to crumble, as is the hopes in this S&D for Minnesota Rokkr. This will be a couple of rounds in a row now.
Oh, God. Nah, Kenny's just too good, man. I'm telling you, Kenny's just too good. That round absolutely going to crumble. Kenny seals the deal. I think that's efficient work there from him and Shotzzy. I think Kenny actually was pretty heads up, thinking that Linz might have the pressure if he's underneath from AC to jump up with the rival. So Kenny actually tucks himself in the perfect corner, basically just to hide. And I don't know if that was his thought process, knowing that that child's going to come through. But I know Kenny has been putting out some of the best content this year amongst like the, pros in the COD League, where he walks through his thought process, on so many different maps. And he'll make like 30-minute long videos breaking it down for the insight into his mind. So if you want to learn about Call of Duty competitively, I imagine check out Kenny's YouTube channel. Things are great over there, but high IQ plays constantly.
So well to survive. And now what can OpTic Texas do on the attack? Feels like the first time they've really had an advantage. Accuracy this time around will get the better of OpTic and will back them down. And now this is the kind of attacking round where you don't want to be in these positions, right? You lose that initial gunfight. Now you're trying to play it for a pick. I'd be very surprised if Minnesota Rokkr offer it up on a plate for them here, Chance.
Yes, this is back to the standard. This is why you want to be aggressive, because if you can overwhelm a site, it's great. As soon as that gets stopped, though, it's just incredibly painful. You're going to run into a blender. You're looking for the trades in the plane, but if you can't find that first kill, no more are going to follow. Fred, there's quite literally nothing you can do in this round. It is up to Rokkr to throw it away, but everywhere he goes, he is trapped.
Well, you hate to see it. Fred now left in a 1 versus 4, and Rokkr ain't even gonna give him an inch. Gotta challenge something. Gotta do something if you possibly can. Just such an awkward squad because you want to try for the 1 versus 4, but you know it's just not gonna happen. Rokkr answer back. A very clean round, a very clean defense from them. Accuracy finds the kill to kick things off over towards Berger, and from there, I mean, it's pretty simple search and destroy.
And I'm telling you, man, like the square up series we have and some of the maps getting played, especially the Rio and that Karachi control, but even this one, it's just a shootout of a map right now between these two teams. So they're getting after it, making plays on offense where they can give it a shot, executing, no clutches coming through. I think maybe one small mistake for either team with some SMG players on just these small little mishaps, but otherwise, top-notch S&D match we have right now. Minnesota Rokkr back on the attack. Probably going to be slowing things down and taking it slow. Nice little spread back. We might have a bit of a standard S&D round on Terminal.
Still out from Accuracy. We'll find him a little bit of info. You're always going to presume somebody has pushed themselves up to the top of Eskies and try and hold it down from that. But for Rokkr, what is the play going to be? As you say, it has to be slow and steady. Get OpTic Texas thinking. Catch somebody out of position, then all of a sudden you can open up the map. Gunfights going on through the middle, but nothing to speak of so far from Rokkr. Some aggressive play from OpTic, but they are going to back on down from that. You can see Pred was pushed up through the corridor. Mostly stacked over towards the B side, but for Rokkr, you're mostly over towards A, so that is looking like the play at this moment in time. I think, honestly, Accuracy just making a lot of noise over towards Berger to try and distract us. The push now starting to come through over towards A. Playing control is there. Shotzzy surviving towards the back, but Firing Squad very much letting it rain over towards the play, and a couple of stuns out now. It's going to entice Pred to the push. Accuracy will be there to find the first. Can Shotzzy get him off the bomb? He just can't peek it long enough. Bomb down. Rokkr do so well to get there.
Yeah, that is perfect coverage by Rokkr. Now you just have to execute. You got the man advantage, bomb down. Everything is going well. You just have to trade out these kills.
David, this is massive. He can find this one, and Kenny pretty much seals the round. Dashing and Shotzzy, though, I say that. Nearly make it interesting. Rokkr eventually find the kills. And that was such a weird one, wasn't it? Because you could see what Accuracy was doing. He's firing shots off over towards Berger. Yeah, we're coming B, we're coming B. Big hit in towards the plane, and Shotzzy, by the time he's calling out, maybe it is too late already. Good positioning in from Rokkr by the time they get in there, Chance, and that was pretty much it. Really good cover whilst the bomb was going down too, as you point out.
Yeah, they're feeling great too, right? Smiles on their faces, a little bit of the nerves have certainly faded away, especially after that Rio. So they're on flow state right now. Minnesota Rokkr just need to execute on defense, and you go up 2-0 against OpTic. Massive round. Rokkr does not want to see this round 11, and they don't have the bomb here, but OpTic, 3 players squaring up, looking for a first blood over towards Eskies. So it's not a full-on hit out for the moment, but the smoke is going to be the call. Now everybody getting involved.
Nicely done from Rokkr, though, to back on down. Equally as well done from OpTic to gain that map control. The flank is
It's the
potentially
double
gonna be
flank, by the way,
unconscious.
too.
Yeah.
Like, it's the site control on one side, but 2 flanks coming through from Minnesota Rokkr. Dashy, 2 players to deal with. He at least gets 1, but now the pressure on the site. 2 players from OpTic just surrounded, and through the smoke comes Minnesota Rokkr soaring, and Pred can't get it done. Lins sealing their fate. His gunny on point on that round in the game. And Minnesota Rokkr 2-0 up from taking down a top dog. These guys have been menaces.
Huge win from Rokkr once again. Every single map that they chip away here, the series is just looking that little bit simpler. The fact that they find map number 1 is the surprise. The search and destroy, not necessarily, but now they find themselves 2-0 up. Cruise control from Rokkr in the series. And just honestly, what I want to say as well, for me, Awakening was slow there, but accuracy seemed to step up on the defensive side towards the latter stages. They're starting to find so many kills over towards Burger. Just made any of OpTic Texas pushes or defenses over towards that side just that little bit more difficult. But the man of the moment has got to be Lins. If he doesn't find that round chance in the 1v1 against Shotzi, we're 5-5 right now. We're going round 11. Big plays coming out from the youngster.
Absolutely. And again, just like a square up against Shotzi for the 1v1 as well, because that was a pretty prolonged one. So the ice is certainly in his vein. Something about French players and being good SMGs. I don't know what it is, but on point for the moment. And then also, not just that round, like you had a round on defense where Pred off the opening break nades himself on death on defense. So that is just a type of mistake that you simply cannot make against a top dog team. And Minnesota right now certainly looking like that. At the same time, though, they've taken these top squads to the end. They haven't quite gotten a win yet, so they still have to seal the deal. But great news for Minnesota Rokkr. One of their favorite maps is coming up next, so I think they're in prime position to get this 3-0.
They got to be feeling good, but on the other side of things, OpTic Texas very much need the reverse sweep if they want to get themselves a result here. We're heading over towards Karachi. Control, not a good view if you're a Green Wall fan so far, but can they find a comeback? We'll find out after this quick break.
Slice up your competition with the Executive Chef Operator, now available in-game in the Call of Duty store. The Call of Duty Week is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
Let's get it.
Minnesota Rokkr 2 to the good. And OpTic Texas, well, looked like a team who are 2-0 down, to be honest with you, Chance. They're not feeling too hot about this so far, but there's been a big catalyst for the Minnesota Rokkr that is getting the job done for them. Potential Rookie of the Year in Linz, who has been lights out so far for Rokkr here, Chance. He's a talent. It's these Europeans, mate. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
No, okay, hold on. You're taking a little bit too much credit. It's not a European thing. Right now, it's a French thing. A French thing that we're going to be dealing with. But I don't know. Linz, as you pointed out, he has been out of control. He's arguably been the most consistent player for the team. Certainly across the entire year, he has been. This series, he's been fantastic, but like, it seemed to me for Linz of like every sort of different spot we get to see him in, of like the moments where he needs to pop off and make the big play in the respawn, he delivers. When he's in the clutch spots now in the search and destroy against like past Rookie of the Years and MVP players, he delivers. Like, this man has been absurd. So, I mean, Linz might be getting thrown in the gauntlet rather, but he has been a spectacle of a player, and he is also a player that loves him some Karachi control. Again, Minnesota Rokkr at this point might have the crown of being the best team on this map, but OpTic, a team that needs to be and very capable of squaring up on it. They are strong on Karachi as well, but obviously Minnesota momentum in their hands, and the first blood rolls through.
Yeah, we were just discussing that through the break, right? That Rayo might be something that OpTic Texas do regret, especially when you are squaring up on Karachi control against Rokkr. It's a good start here for OpTic Texas, though. If they can find all 4 kills, then all of a sudden you could be in danger of your Rokkr. They are able to lock it down. Great awareness from Awakening. 2 ticks over towards A already. That should be in the back pocket pretty much immediately. Rokkr opening up the floodgates towards the B side. If not for Dashi, 2 big kills coming on through, but immediately the pressure from Rokkr, unrelenting.
Oh, Dashi on point right there, too. I was going to say, OpTic have had rounds before where they're on defense, where they, like, sort of open up the B pressure, and it sort of punishes them long-term. And even now, that might vaguely be the case. Vivid has the idea of working this, like, B zone, but you'd have to imagine OpTic, if they can storm out and get the kills, they're going to be in good spot or not. Maybe they fall to the same thing again. Dashi bought him, like, 3 contact kills before they made the cross out towards B, and maybe all for nothing. Trophies down inside the point. Awakening on 3 spree inside the hill, and this might be the more difficult zone gone. How fast it can happen. OpTic, I thought, made adjustments, but no, it is the same thorn in their side. Massive advantage on the round because it is done. That's how Karachi looks when it's one of the best teams in the game on it. Rokkr, this is what they do.
Just so fluid. As soon as they start getting the spawns over towards like the hut side of the map, then all of a sudden they're just running straight through, all the way through office. You get across, and Dashi does a really good job, as we pointed out. And ever since then, though, it just never felt like OpTic Texas gained control of that side of the map whatsoever.
Yeah.
And Rokkr just walked through it.
I mean, like, they've been exposed before in a sense for OpTic of like, they are not like super heavy on the pressure on the B side off the jump. Like, they'll sort of play those 50-50 gunfights after. That's why, again, pointing out that Dashi like was able to pick up 3 along the way. But OpTic sort of wait to actually put the pressure on Junk to force out the deep spawns. It's cost them in the past, and obviously cost them in that round. So playing a bit of a dangerous game, and now off the opening break, you're expecting maybe some freebies for Vivid. Pred, though, from the bridge side has them covered. Dashing from the top rope, extra kills as well, but still pinned back in your spawn. OpTic still having to work their way out. And you can already see guys like Linz, like even on the opening fight, working his way through Junk, the players from Minnesota Rokkr, even number 5 on the minimap, immediately wraps back over towards B. It's playing it safe more so, but you've obviously seen the reasons why.
Playing it safe is working out, though. Minnesota Rokkr 1 to the good here in the control. OpTic Texas need to find a way back into this series. Let's have a listen in with the comms with OpTic Texas.
Over pitch.
Wait, how far?
Our uses. Wait.
Lamar's going. Lamar's going straight.
I'm one.
Down there now. We need to take.
Lamar's
Lamar's straight.
On there. Lens.
Yeah, Lamar's back right. Lamar's left straight somewhere.
Hey, one's our uses. Awakening. I spawned out.
Go top there.
Don't play this guy uses, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to play. One, reach some point.
Mid. Our mid heady.
He's at Coop or some shit.
Mid heady, bro. Mid heady, wait. Close. What's our uses still?
Yeah, one
Close crate on me.
Nice, it's 2.
Close crate's lit. In the corner, I got him. Alright, last
I have the pinch.
Cap this shit.
You guys cap that. Yeah,
hold on.
How about useless pinch?
I'll look left across the point, bro. We're good.
How about useless pinch still?
How far?
They're gonna refill useless.
Lady from the mid.
Top fire. I'm watching. Yeah, no one reads. You went to top fire. One's useless.
Fire.
Nice. One's useless, guys.
We're gonna wait. One's what the fuck? He's deep my truck. Late.
Yeah, one's out.
Two over there. One's deep.
Cover here.
200 useless. One will take it. That is close right high.
Right here.
Close right high.
Close right.
Yeah.
Close right. Good call. Close right. One. Awakening. He's run.
I'm in ticket. I'm in ticket.
He's laying behind the head. He's laying behind the wall.
OpTic Texas calling out this 2-0 useless. It's been pretty useful for Minnesota Rokkr, though. They're locking down that side of the map time and time again. OpTic Texas just can't get rid of them. Now all of a sudden you may well get trapped in your spawn just a little bit. You gotta fight your way out. 4 lives down. You may well have A, but you don't have a lot of time to get even anywhere near B at this stage.
Oh, and Awakening is just jump on it now too. Yeah, no, we picked the perfect time to come out of that listening ton, because it would have been devastating to hear as they go 4 down. They've worked their way out of like junk at the very least. They've sort of cleaned house, and they're more or less grouped together with Shotzzy working the flank. So now you actually have the time. Let Shotzzy work this flank, get the entry kill. There it comes through. Now you make the hit.
Here we go. Can they find the kills? Shotzzy will be on his way over. Dashy does a good job, and Linz is just playing the exact same role. And here comes the cleanup crew. 1 and 2 for Linz. The third will be wonderful. Can't quite find it. Shotzzy does so well. But he has other players here from the side of Minnesota Rokkr to deal with. Just staying alive for Shotzzy here would be a bonus. Reinforcements on their way, but they're going to be bulleted up by Vivid already, who will get taken down. Finds nothing. Rokkr are here in numbers, but they're starting to fall. Their accuracy in Awakening can find 2, but get shut down. Eventually, OpTic Texas 8v7 in terms of life. 15 seconds to go. Push here from Rokkr is not an easy one. The utility needs to be good, and it needs to be pretty much perfect. Linz trying to find a push. It's been a good defensive hold for the majority of the game, but can they find a way through? The tick starting to come through. Awakening with 1. It's only Kenny inside the point with a teammate alongside of him. OpTic Texas just about get the round.
That is unreal, and they fought out of hell to make that happen, by the way. That is like a clean 4 down where Minnesota Rokkr get like the pure, like, sort of trap them into their spawn, get that spawn trap flowing. So they were in the blender and managed to get out. And again, it is just the perfect execution on the play. Shotzzy's getting that kill long alley. Linz might have doubled down and made a good play with the 2Ps as well, but Shotzzy, that last man standing, continued to play his life and buy that extra bit of time. So Shotzzy the MVP in that round, but all of OpTic, just the resolve that they showed, that is impressive stuff. So all tied up 1-1, back to the square up, and now you got guys like Shotzzy pushing out towards Shunk, playing it safe. Don't want that B pressure to open up.
Yeah, don't let it happen this time. For all that Minnesota Rokkr will have lost that round, they know their previous attack was very, very comfortable. It's just one good break coming through. Shotzzy plays it really well over towards the back of Dyna. And now Pred can get himself in a position where he can cause absolute havoc. Knows exactly where Awakening is coming from. 2 big kills coming in from Pred. Now he can try and start to farm. There's another one. Minnesota Rokkr do make progress over towards their side, but Pred is going to be a constant thorn. This is much better from OpTic Texas, though, controlling the map as a whole. Shotzzy frying with the rival 9. And all of a sudden, Rokkr, well, yeah, they will find a little bit of respite, but there's a bit of damage already done here from OpTic Texas.
Oh, that's interesting timing too, though. Awakening actually makes it above Shotzzy. So Awakening is a bit of a ghost on the map, and there, because he's a ghost, he gets that free first kill. Shotzzy on the flank might have the timing perfect. Wins the first gunfight, wins the second gunfight, stops the zone from getting captured in a highlight reel play. Might not be able to get the ace, but he has just brought so much pressure on the map for the team. I know the A zone does get captured, but in the meantime, Kenny is already pushed out towards Shunk in prime position. Every Rokkr death, you spawn up into a blender. Accuracy may be getting sent that direction. A few next players are going to be in line.
A little bit of red control wouldn't be the worst thing here for OpTic Texas, though. Might have Kenny over towards the junk side, but Shotzzy could do with finding a little bit of presence here. Linz will find a kill on the Dashy, and all of a sudden this play potentially opens up. Big snap coming in from Pred. Shotzzy follows up with another. So OpTic Texas will steady the ship for just a moment. Rokkr going to try and slow this one down, find some picks, and then make their move. If anyone I expected to be on the flank, accuracy is maybe not top of my list, but here he is nonetheless. Kenny should be dead to rights here in just a second. This might open things up. Accuracy needs a little bit of help, but he will get himself inside the point.
Well, there's number 2. Shotzzy going to be the next player underneath. Get tags up. They at least know where he is. But accuracy still not a ton of help. He is getting surrounded. If he can take one with him, that's great. And he's done his job. Vivid covers him as well. A 4v2 now around this zone, and every single gunfight goes the way of Minnesota Rokkr. And by the looks of it, that's going to be the round.
Oh, just flowing like water through the map there. OpTic Texas don't know which way to look. And there's another attacking round. Minnesota Rokkr. When they smell blood in the water here on this B side, it is just relentless. They'll find one kill, and then all of a sudden, it's like the floodgates open. They just all of a sudden find a few more. Really good play from Rokkr. OpTic just cannot get control of that side of the map whatsoever.
Dude, in so much of that, it's like it's a bunch of one-on-one gunfights, but especially that first one, accuracy wins. That's now an extra player from OpTic that has to turn the attention to accuracy to try to trade him out. That's now looking the wrong direction, so it's a free kill for Vivid. And then away, I mean, again, it's just a series of one-on-one gunfights, but that is impressive for Rokkr to be able to deliver. That's also 3 offensive rounds in a row. And OpTic, the pressure cooker, turn on high. Need this map win, need 2 rounds in a row, and on offense, it is not going to be an easy feat again. Rokkr, this is what they do.
Awakening now over towards the red side, and he's been phenomenal for Rokkr so far in this map. 2-0 up in this series, 1 round away from potentially closing this out. Got to be feeling good in the Rokkr camp. Let's go for a listen.
I'm gonna go hold the left here. No, we can. Good job. I'm out with you guys. Let's get Fred. Give me more trick.
He's saying left third.
I'm just walking out. I can call you. Go in the left. Shots, you want to
Third ped, one on point.
I want to spawn.
Nice. One point.
I want to look. I'm here. I have a sub though. When you try to get to me.
I'm gone. Nothing top red.
Do your card.
Shotty, one out.
Like that. I don't want your card.
You need ATM. Okay, you want ATM, he's in a pinch then.
Your card, Dashy.
You want ATM?
I need help.
Yeah, I'm coming.
You're
Taking mid right now. Yeah,
Dude, you should go to left side. I'll control here. Dashy was there. He's probably gonna run a mid. Do you see anything?
I have ACL and L. No, he's actually dead.
Nice. Arjo, you hold that. I'll hold our
One's church, Fred.
I'm holding our top red.
Josh is in our spawn. And one top AC. Top AC.
Back, guys. Can you I've already. We jump forward.
I'll ball.
Bell got me. Shots in.
I'll ball.
Bell jumped up bus. Bus on you. Just left.
Back windows and back alley. Low windows and back alley. 3. Last guy, Kenny. Kill him first.
Yeah, they shouldn't spawn here. They shouldn't spawn here.
Okay, have the right.
Glimmer of hope for OpTic Texas. They do get some control over towards their side. 3 ticks in. And they had a little bit of control over towards B. Lost the gunfights. Now find yourself maybe in the position you don't want to be in. A couple of gunfights go their way though, and this round can spin on its head. Shotty, Dashy, find those couple of gunfights. Vivid's the only one who can answer. We'll try and slow down this push, but this will be some control over towards the diner for OpTic Texas. Irrelevant to what happens now with Rokkr.
Yeah, Vivid right now, the cutoff man. He's done a little bit of damage, but doesn't actually find a kill. Kenny gonna gun him, and well, Dashy's there for the follow-up. This has been just an offensive battle between these 2 teams. OpTic still need to execute towards the end, but if you're trying to cross over that dumpster, not gonna have a fun time. Lynn's there for the trade. He gets traded out himself. Last man standing is accuracy, trying to be the hero, but OpTic, the floodgates are here, and only 1 more tick needs to go through.
Second one's in. Awakening Vivid, accuracy no now dealt with. Lynn's is the last one there. Round number 5 we go. Honestly, it really surprised me. Every single round on the attacking side for OpTic Texas, it hasn't looked likely until they do it. Like, they're caught in awful situations, but then all of a sudden there's 3 dead and you can just run on through. So maybe you can give Rokkr a little bit of credit for helping out in terms of these gunfights not going their way, but OpTic Texas doing a really good job fighting out from this spawn, and from there, diner control, B locked in. Round 5 we go.
And fighting is the key word, because they've ended up in spots where, as you pointed out, completely stuck in their spawn. Like, just not good spots that they are in on these offensive rounds. But that time, I mean, that was almost light work. That was like 2 pushes to actually get the break on the reins, get those close side spawns, and then the floodgates were fully open. OpTic just never looked back. And maybe an interesting spot too, like typically you want defense for the final round, but it's been nothing but offense here on Karachi, so maybe OpTic happy to grab it for the final round. Opening break still always going to be key though. Trades coming through towards the middle of the map, and Shotzi, by the way, doesn't get that cruise missile. Could have been an impact, but Rokkr happy for it to fall through the cracks. And Rokkr again, by the way, a stranglehold on the map. Linz is in spawn killing position again. He might get dealt with, but OpTic are constantly feeling the pressure immediately off spawn.
Just going to try and find a route through that works for them. Pred not able to hit the shots or the jump, if anything. Accuracy will deal with him. ATIC is slowed coming in here, though, for the side of OpTic Texas. Accuracy once again. Punching just to slow things down. I think the inevitable of it going over towards OpTic Texas will come on through. They found a couple of kills in a good moment as well, so a little bit of control over towards red. And Pred knows there will be players over towards this side, actually just dropping all the way back to deal with them. Help his teammates get out the spawn, but you gotta hit your shots here. Can find one. Vivid dead is fighting the second as well, though. And all of a sudden, you're forced back into your spawn. Vivid is here to cause that issue. Rokkr once again putting OpTic Texas on the back foot.
And you got to notice Vivid doesn't have a trophy either, so he's having to play from a pretty distant position. Or maybe the trophy's over on the right side, but that's why he's playing it a little bit safer. So OpTic trying to flood through the middle of the map, trying to flood through junk, but they're getting stopped towards mid. You might have Pred that found a timing to go on the flank, but he's just going to be the player looking for the opening. Right now, his team just completely stuck in their spot.
Can Pred find something? Dashi wanted to spawn. Pred gets dealt with. But because of Pred being there, it feels like Minnesota Rokkr have had to drop off just a little bit. But Lin's with a stun. We'll just slow OpTic Texas down from this push that's inevitably coming through, and he's just dancing around the rest of the team, finding the gunfights. It's a good job from Kenny that he can find not one but two. So that pressure easing again, but the lives are starting to falter here for OpTic Texas. 12 remaining, 11 remaining now. Minnesota Rokkr in control. 1 minute to go. But these previous attacking rounds that OpTic Texas have won, it takes one good break.
Yeah, but still, though, as you pointed out in the life count and the time left on the clock, OpTic, you see how much they're slowing the pace down, waiting to group up together, but they're still, they can't find the errant kills. Rokkr constantly putting on the pressure. Is accuracy again going on the flank to find the big two-piece, and he seals the deal with number 3 as well. Accuracy living up to the name. Man is shooting for the moment, and Shotzi, maybe the only player right now on the map from OpTic that can make the play. He's behind enemy lines. He has snuck through. No one has turned for it just yet. The problem is no support on the map. OpTic again are just stuck in their spawn.
Heads are going to be on a swivel though from Rokkr. This is what broke it open last time. A couple of kills now starting to fall their way, and you've already got somebody advanced up. But Shotzi doesn't see the player who's left hand side. Should clean this one up onto accuracy and does so, but he has less reinforcements than he would have. Awakening can find 1, only 4 lives remaining now for OpTic Texas. Make it 3.
Done.
And this might be game. Pred and Dashi can find a couple of kills, but 12 seconds to go. You've got to be perfect here from OpTic Texas. They need to get across pretty much unscathed. Into the point we go. There's still potential here from OpTic.
I think I might hear a cruise missile in the sky. I think Awakening might have gone on this spree right now, but no control and no dice. 3 players on the point. The extra kill, it's a 3v3.
Gotta go. You gotta go if you're Rokkr. You're locking it down. If you're OpTic Texas, make it 1 kill from Shotzi. Linz, can he find the clean up here? It's Dashi to find 1 more. Can they lock it in time? It's a 3 versus 12 in the end from OpTic. Round number 5 goes their way. Head in your hands moment for Rokkr. Series on our hands now. OpTic Texas. Send us to a map 4.
No respawns remaining, ton, because they simply did not need them. Heroics again on the offensive rounds. That is a ridiculous thing. And if you're talking about a potential momentum shift, that game is the way to do it. But this is every single kill going their way. They wipe out Vivi, get the trophies on the point. I think it's a nade that ends up coming through from Dashi that ends up getting this kill to push this player further back in. I mean, for Awakening, we didn't catch the entire Hellstorm for his POV, but doesn't connect at all. And then everybody else there just flooding into death. That is an absurd clutch there from OpTic. A ton of credit to Dashi as well, who picked up 4 along the way. But that's a nail biter. That is control in its finest form. And that means, ton, we got a series on our hands. Down but not out is OpTic. And I know we talked about some of like the square up maps. Karachi is a square up map. They got away with one there. OpTic played incredibly well. The second half of this series on just like on paper looks a lot better from OpTic. The reverse sweep potential fully on the cards.
34 and 17 from Awakening. What a performance, but those last couple of kills just slipped through his fingers. What a map that was. I can't believe how many attacking rounds that we've seen there. It feels like both those rounds that OpTic found at the very last moment came from a Shotzi moment where he was able to actually just find a way through what was feeling like a really good spawn trap from Rokkr. I was actually watching him on the minimap, and at one stage it felt like he passed somebody very, very close, either above or below him, gets himself around from behind over towards the diner, and that just opens things up, right? Really good play coming in from Shotzi, a little bit of luck to help them out, and they get it done in the 3. Well, with only 3 players left remaining. Incredible round coming through from OpTic Texas. And as you said, we head into the latter stages of this series now, and they're going to be feeling a lot better, especially with sub-base output coming up in a second.
Absolutely. I mean, certainly. I mean, Rio's sort of an unknown quantity for a lot of these teams. Obviously, the expectation is for OpTic to be strong. Second best hard point in the team in the game right now. But sub-base, I would say, is definitely more of a comfort pick for them. That being said, Rokkr obviously putting on the pressure, but like that pressure might get alleviated. Like even on the player cams from Minnesota Rokkr, that was like a massive buff to them at the end. Linz like launched himself back in the chair. So you go in a situation where you're up like 12-3 on life count. It's basically the round is done and dusted. You're feeling like you got it. This is a 3-0 against one of the top teams in the game. It's like electric, the feelings in your nerves that you can feel in those moments. that get broken down, you just go on an emotional roller coaster that Rokkr now have to bounce back from. So it's a spicy one indeed. But as we're looking at the highlights, obviously back and forth game, everybody having these sort of moments, either OpTic collectively as a team for the final breaks over towards B, or maybe a bit of an awakening sort of montage for the kills he was collecting. But obviously, as we saw, it just comes down to these final moments. Here was the round in round number 4 where OpTic just break through the floodgates and get that capture towards the end. But even for the one that happened over in this direction, just again, ridiculous stuff. High IQ, high octane plays coming out. Not easy to orchestrate, but OpTic do impress.
It's very stressful for their fans, I would imagine. I mean, it's going down to the final moments. But would you have it any other way, I suppose? It's a sweeter way to find victory. But I think, you know, kind of going to what you're saying, you find those moments, everybody the same who's sitting there at home playing rank play, you're like, oh, those moments where Rokkr towards the end, you can see their faces. They're as you mentioned, they're already sitting there just kind of chilling, calling out in probably a relaxed space, saying, all right, everyone just in, yeah, okay, we're good. You know that feeling yourselves at home when you think you've got the game completely locked up. In OpTic Texas, just bring it back from the jaws of defeat. All of a sudden, we're heading into map number 4 in Minnesota Rokkr. Don't look like the team who are in the lead in the series yet. They still look a little bit shell-shocked from that one. And OpTic Texas are going to feel the opposite. The wind firmly in their sails. Heading over towards sub base. You've got to feel good if you're an OpTic fan now. Might find yourself down in the series still. But the reverse sweep is fully on the cards now.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know if the fans necessarily feel good because the fans just see the 2-1, but I saw like that smirk on Pred's face. You already know what the comms are going to be like for a team after a win like that, of like, oh no, these guys broke down like that, they're terrible, we're gonna get the bounce back, like we got them now. So if confidence was ever an issue for the team, for OpTic rather, that's the type of performance you need to get it right back. So got to keep the foot on the gas though. I mean, again, even from an opening break front, this is an opportunity to either keep applying that pressure or for Rokkr to sort of bounce back, get rid of the nerves and get right back in the swing of things. Lynn's right back where he left off this entire series. He's been on point, strikes for the first 2. That's exactly what Rokkr needed.
Yeah, 100%. You get a bit of momentum just heading back your way. Some points alongside of it will be nice, but OpTic Texas will gain a little bit of control over towards P1. Actually now just patrolling, but yeah, for OpTic, it's got to be feeling good, right? But the same has to be said from them. A nice start here as well. It just probably feels like the game will run away for you. A little bit of control here from Rokkr, though. At the same time, OpTic Texas will be more than happy to keep hold of the spawns right now. Rokkr trying to put some pressure on, though. Lynn's and Accuracy doing some good work and soaking up the final 15 by the looks of things as well.
Yeah, how about that opening break from Millions, right? Just gets the opening break 2-piece himself. He jumps into P2, gets an extra kill, wraps back over towards the time. Now he's being the Super Soaker, and he's on a 4 spree. So you do have Lynn's potentially thinking about that cruise missile as well. Now getting mixed with his teammates, a couple trades coming through towards the middle of the map, and Lynn's still on the hunt. That's number 5, but finally the cleanup kill is there. OpTic don't have the spawns for new, but currently they do have the time. Looks like Accuracy gonna take him right after it, though. That is the importance of the spawns on rotation, rather. Rokkr continuing to run up that score.
Lynn's maybe has found a gap here, not quite. Kenny and Pred finding the kills. Accuracy is able to answer back. Vivid is there alongside of him. Accuracy will find a second. It's been so impressive in this game, Accuracy, but not able to lock this down. Or is he? 3 kills for him now. Can't find the 4th. OpTic Texas with 23 seconds remaining will at least tie things up here on this hard point if they continue to lock this down. But good shots from Lynn's again. Every time we're in the POV, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing.
Yeah, no, the man has incredible walking 2-piece. Yeah, absolutely. Starts on point, and got to give credit to Accuracy as well. I'm watching this dude slide around the map. He genuinely might be the most improved player from last year to this one, but with Lynn's picking up the big kills at the old time, obviously Rokkr. This is an absurd setup right now they have over towards new. Shotzi distant, putting the pressure on the right side of the map, but right now OpTic have not even made it to top snow. They might be getting some of the kills, but now you have to be worried about getting shot in the back. Shotzi gets red. However, that spawn never will. Yeah, no pro team is ever going to read that. Dashy happy for it. Maybe credit to Shotzi or just the game in that moment, but that's a big moment for OpTic to start collecting some time.
Yeah, it might just come down to Shotzi being in that position at the right time. You still don't read it, you're very right. But irrelevant of that, OpTic Texas will care very little. Pushing from the snow side, though, up top, coming in from Minnesota Rokkr, just trying to find an angle if you can. Accuracy not going to be quite dealt with, but Kenny is. 15 seconds to go here. OpTic Texas will get the majority of the time and a lead alongside of it if they can keep a hold of that scrap time, which is looking like it is going to be theirs. But Rokkr What can they do now? Shotzi was the man here for the OpTic side in the previous hill. Can he find one here now? A couple of players dropping from OpTic already, though. Gonna make this job very, very difficult.
Oh, that is so tragic. I mean, dude, if you're Shotzi going that deep in the water, you got to be worried about, like, the pressure change when you re-submerge. So, like, free diving, not an easy thing to do, and Awakening shooting in the face as he came up the ladder makes it that much more difficult and dangerous. In the meantime, though, accuracy is on a 5 spree. He does get traded out, so again, no cruise missile, but outside of the no cruise, this has been an incredibly comfortable time for Minnesota. I mean, it is looking to be a potential near full 60. Even Vivid, the opportunity to get that cruise missile was there, and I mean, he's still on the 5, so this has been a beautiful hill for Minnesota Rokkr. You got to be worried about Vivid. You got to be worried about the scrap time, and obviously now a pretty sizable lead for Minnesota as we rotate over towards New.
Yeah, OpTic need to make sure that they make it count on the rotation over towards the next hill. Really, really good hold from Rokkr, which puts him in a comfortable lead. And that can happen. Over towards P4. Teams can't lower that down. If you don't find that coordinated push, it is very, very difficult. Now Vivid trying to find a way through, can't just quite find the second jab into Kenny's face. Good lockdown so far from OpTic Texas. Still plenty of time remaining here on the hill. Shotzi will find another as well. The setup looking very, very nice. Minnesota Rokkr need to try and get something back here. My word, Awakening. The snap onto Kenny. Not going to result in anything here, though. OpTic Texas very much in control of this hill.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not a big win, but it's a fun one, but it amounts to absolutely nothing. I mean, Kenny gets traded out, and again, as soon as that happens, you know exactly where the final players from Minnesota are going to be coming from. So you just go from, like, sort of an easier money hill to lock down for Minnesota, where they get the full 60. OpTic are doing it in a more difficult spot, and we talked about all the cruise missile potential on one side. Shotzi finally heating things up. No more water routes. He goes on a 5 before he falls, but all of that work Minnesota Rokkr put on from the start of P1 just gets vanquished now as OpTic take the lead as we start over on the brand new hill. P1 now popping.
Trading 60-second hills back and forth. OpTic Texas though are the ones with the ever so slight lead as we head into that second rotation. Yeah, very impressive, both the two teams, when they do get themselves set up. It felt like the other hills though that neither team really got that control they needed to do much with. All of a sudden, OpTic Texas, well, they did have a bit of presence over towards P1. Looking like that's going to get wiped off the map. Oh, Prince, it's a tough one. I don't even want to call it a turn on, really. Linz was there to pick up the pieces, shooting at 2 different bodies. It's a tough gunfight to take. OpTic Texas, though, for all they are bleeding some time over towards P1, P2 control, is very much that.
Yeah, no, you're exactly. That's just an unlucky moment for Pred, so close to the 2-piece and an opportunity there, but instead it is Linz again on P1. He's just been the Reaper. He might die before he gets the cruise, but that's like 2 different P1 hills where the man goes on an absolute tear. Beat down up top. This time Vivid wins it. Gets redemption from his fist fight earlier. Around P2, though, you see 3 clean in the feed there from OpTic. They might not actually get the back spawn because the old time was still active, but this might pan out. 2 players spawning towards the middle of the map. Minnesota Rokkr player is going to get shot along the way. As long as Dashy reads the gunfight towards the back, which he does exactly that, but you got to get the kill. Linz dances on him. Gets the break in Minnesota Rokkr, maybe making the best of an awkward situation. It's still a bit of a square up, but right now OpTic just struggling to win the gunfights around the hill.
Yeah, and it's just not something you would expect to say from players of this caliber. There's been a couple of questionable ones. Linz and Awakening will find them back. Awakening finds a second as well. The gunny is hot for Minnesota Rokkr right now with 20 seconds to go here. On P2, they're looking good for a very, very comfortable lead chance. Linz finding some more as well. It's all about this rotation OpTic. You need to lock something in here.
And now a big gunfight coming around the backside of the map. I say a big gunfight, easy one for Dashy. Vivid just not able to read the angle he was going to be selecting from. Kenny gets an extra kill pushed up on the side of the map, and you see how deep these players are going to be spawning. So that kill Kenny got, Aki respawns at the worst possible time and the worst possible place. You have to hike all the way across the map, and again, you talk about blender setups. This is beautiful right now from OpTic.
Yeah, when the gunfights though, Pred can find 2. Awakening from Snow will find 2 of his own. Breaks the setup pretty much all on his own. Accuracy towards this side as well. Here comes this squeeze.
Big wake.
Broken down. That is such a big break coming in from Rokkr. It's all on the back of Awakening. Finds 4 kills from the Snow side. And Minnesota Rokkr now in a commanding position. 25 seconds to play for here. They may well be very, very close by the time we head over towards the next hill. Wow.
Yeah, we got a long way to go, but that might be the type of play that just calls game. That could have been a wonderful situation from OpTic, but those weird back spawns continue. This is actually a time where OpTic do not want to spawn in the back at all because you're so far away, going back towards the hill where Minnesota already secured a full 60. And you see how much closer they're going to be spawning over towards New. This could be the hill where the game ends on. OpTic, the pressure officially back on.
Could not have worked out worse for OpTic Texas. Spawn towards the back for what was 10 seconds, and now all of a sudden, these gunfights, well, they were looking difficult, but 3 fall their way. Rokkr forced away from the backside. They're going to be spawned out here as well. Accuracy and no man's land. They're dead to rights. It's a 5-spree from Kenny. Now 30 seconds away for OpTic Texas to tie things up. All 35 seconds here. Over towards this hill would find themselves in the lead. Awakening will find a big gunfight, but OpTic Texas continuing to lock some good time down. Lynn's just trying to find some pressure. Kenny is there. Kills being traded. Minnesota Rokkr break back. Can't quite win it here with 20 seconds to go, but they won't be far off.
Yeah, I was about to say they can't win it with the 20 seconds, but that is a huge 20 seconds that they're able to get. And now on the rotation, Kenny wins a big one just to keep OpTic alive. This was a hill where they got a full 60 themselves. They got more pressure for the moment near the zone, but they do not have those power positions. Shotzi, though, pushes out the left side. That's a massive gunfight to win. It might come down to Big Wake again, top Snow in the power position. It is just kills right now in this moment the Rokkr need.
As talked about, Big Wake having to maybe start making his impact for the team, and that's certainly been felt on the OpTic side, at least anyway. 16 seconds away for Rokkr. OpTic Texas starting to lock it down, though. 2 kills coming in from Dashi. You've kind of got them where you want them. If you are OpTic Texas here, who can just about win it without a contest, I don't think they can do so now, so we will be going to another hill if OpTic want to continue this game, but they might not have the option. A couple of kills coming through now for Rokkr. 10 seconds away. Cruise missile has to come on through from Kenny, and it has to be good as well. Rokkr are forced off the point. This is the opportunity now for OpTic Texas to maybe find something. Couple of kills going to go their way. Pred from behind, from loading phase, maybe going to be able to find something. The break comes in. 12 seconds to play for here. Over towards the last hill. We're going to another rotation chance. It's anybody's game.
Yeah, but look at the spawns from Shotzi, too. Shotzi ends up spawning behind a few players, so you're able to make sure they spawn sort of in the deep trenches out towards the warehouse side of the map, but now the spawns are just out of control. Inaccuracy picks up 2 as soon as the hill pops. Rokkr desperate just to flood this time.
Jump in the point. 5 seconds to go for Minnesota Rokkr. OpTic Texas is going to be pretty much perfect. They find a couple of kills. Dashi will find a second to himself. Vivid can't find a thing. 3 from Dashi. 10 seconds away now for OpTic Texas. Complete control for Rokkr. It's a hard break back from here. 7 seconds to go. The shots in from Awakening are good, but you need to start moving if you're Rokkr. The kill feed's just starting to light up green, and Vivid can get in for the contest, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He's still surviving. The rest of the team on their way. Vivid has went massive for the team, but it's not enough. OpTic Texas falls to map number 5 in an absolute banger of a sub-base hard point. It's a 5-point game, and map number 5 on the way.
Oh, good God, Ton. Back-to-back games where the OpTic ice needs to be out of control. I mean, that's not even a map. You can see the look on Kenny's face. They're not happy about anything that has really gone down in this series, but the good news is the series for them continues. Here's a look again, just at the final few moments. This is a ridiculous moment. Again, Shotzi gets a good spawn, turns that into a nice flank to come through. The timing on Willow Hill pops is just about perfect. And then they get control of it and just simply never look back. A nice tight setup. Kenny's got the cross for everybody else. Just look above them. So, I mean, these are not easy situations to orchestrate in these moments. I thought when Vivid put these players on skates in the hill, like the opportunity might have been there, but everyone else on Rokkr simply too far away. OpTic too quick on the tight setup. And again, those are the nail-biter sort of finishes. Those are tough to even find when you're in scrims, when you're in practice. That's a lot of execution in the moment, in the match, on the day. OpTic 2 for 2 in those situations in this series, and I mean all that just for a game 5.
Oh, for Rokkr though, you've got to feel for them a little bit. I mean, there's been a couple of moments here and there where you think the game is theirs, you think it's in their hands. 2 maps in a row. OpTic Texas have made them just let it slip. 250 to 245 to end the game. I mean, that was as close as you could have possibly wanted. OpTic Texas were behind for a long, long time in that map.
Yeah, no, Oh, that is absolutely criminal. And I mean, you know, I don't even know who you necessarily tip the cap to. I suppose everybody on OpTic, even like the P4 sort of sub hill in the back that they had to break the second go around. That was a hill where Kenny actually goes on a tear and collects the cruise missile that maybe didn't get any kills towards the end, but at least gets you clearance in the clearance on the point and the intel as well from the sky. So Kenny certainly out here making plays, but all of OpTic again in those moments absolutely deliver. And a tale of two different series, I suppose, right? Rokkr the first half, OpTic in the second, and it all comes down to a Karachi S&D. So many questions we have, Ton, and we get to answer it, I suppose, after whenever the break comes through.
Oh, man. I mean, honestly, after the first two maps, this is not where I've seen the series going whatsoever, but a map number 5 is the treat that we get. What a series this has been between these two teams, OpTic, Texas. Maybe just looking a little softer. Maps number 1 and 2 have come roaring back into this one. A Karachi Search and Destroy to close it up against Rokkr right on the other side of this break.
Slice up your competition with the Executive Chef Operator, now available in-game in the Call of Duty store. Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Map number 5 incoming between these two teams, and what a banger of a series it has been. I did not see us getting here, chance. Not even remotely. Even at halfway through the half point, I'm like, yeah, this is done. It's so many moments have I thought to myself, OpTic Texas are done here. But my word, the ice coming through on multiple occasions. We head towards a game 5. There's so much on the line between these two teams. OpTic Texas, can you complete the comeback? Can you complete the reverse sweep? Or can Minnesota Rokkr eventually get a game 5 over one of these top teams?
And this is a series to me where, like, bad or neutral, the game 5 stats look. Last weekend, when they were going against Toronto Ultra, they had Ultra on the back foot. They could have taken down the champs. They go to a game 5 and they get slammed. So now you're in a situation again for Rokkr where they could take a top team down. It could have been done in a 3-0 fashion. And if you lose in a reverse sweep, that is going to feel like you just got slammed. So you know that series from last week is going to be in the backs of these players' minds. I mean, again, ice has been maybe the only sort of issue for Rokkr as of late. Game 5 is where you need the most of it. And certainly in this series, OpTic have had all of it. It'll be OpTic on defense for the moment. Nice little stack around the middle and B side of the map. That is exactly where that bomb is going.
Right up top. May well be there to cause some issue, but Linz has found himself in a little bit of an awkward position. Can he do something with it? First blood beckoning to the Frenchman. Manchester to get himself in a little bit more of an advanced spot. You'd imagine Rokkr are just going to hold tight and wait to see what Linz can do here.
I'm kind of surprised Pred never turned to look for him. And yeah, that ends up turning out into a Linz first blood. So they knew where he was, but they still let him through anyway. And now he just put himself in a cheeky spot. His team's going to be getting the bomb down, and now it's going to be a maybe 3v3 retake. Shotzzy catches the planter, but still a very difficult bomb site to retake.
Oh, it's awkward positioning across the map for the entire remaining players, but Minnesota Rokkr with the number advantage. Shotzzy making a play. We'll find one at the favor. Can the rest of your team be here to help him? Dashy's the only one left. Smoke out on the bomb. If Dashy can find this, it will be huge for the team. Linz gets away, but Shotzzy, he's gone for the defuse. Awakening eyes on. Shots in. Not quite good enough. Shotzzy then turns it. He got off the right time. My God, Shotzzy. Big plays, a big moment. OpTic Texas one to the good.
That can't happen. That can't happen. Shotzzy is too good. And I don't know if that's that someone on the team, I think, had to calm that. If Shotzzy thought of that in the moment, that's insane. If I had to guess, one of the players spectating there from OpTic saw what was happening on Dashy's point of view and said, Shotzzy, get off the bomb. Linz might be challenging you from top green. Or they heard something, or I don't know what the hell just happened. But for Shotzzy to hop off the bomb and find the kill on Big Wake is a godlike play. And Dashy delivers on the final kill as well. That is an absurd situation to be in, but Shotzzy, that is what he does best. That was a 3 versus 4 where he kills the planter and just commits, I don't know, wizardry around the B site.
He's a little magician that sometimes you just you question what he's doing. But, I mean, how can you ever? Makes it work that time. Shotzzy 3 kills in the round. The defuse on top of it. Smart play. I think it was Awakening who jumps off from the top event side, and then all of a sudden things start working out in OpTic's favor, which they just continue to do so.
Oh my God.
Shotzzy finds accuracy as well. B site broken completely open. I'm going down, not from pressure though. That will start to come in from Rokkr. Shotzzy will now jump on this bomb. Have to be careful here. It doesn't eventually go down. Dashy will find the kill on the Linz. Now it's Awakening left in 1 versus 2. It's eventually going down. The shots from Awakening look good, but the ones from Kenny are better. OpTic Texas 2 to the good.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a very solid executed round there by OpTic. I'm still thinking about that first round. I mean, that is quite literally shades of exactly what was happening to Rokkr against Toronto, of like, they had just such winnable situations that get thrown away. Even that final gunfight, it seemed like Awakening had good shots, but Kenny behind the car just able to drop them. Rokkr right now, I mean, this is what, at least 8 rounds in a row in game 5s that they've lost, sort of thing. Like, they're just, they need something. They need a shining light. They need to get on the board.
Especially in the way that they've lost them, right? I mean, especially that first round. I think, you know, you remind us well of what happened on Invasion in that first round. Shades of that to a certain degree. Shotzzy now pushing forward. OpTic Texas are running through them. Fred finds a second. And my God, that round is over as quickly as it started. OpTic Texas getting themselves high. 3 to the good now. Rokkr again and map number 5 are starting to fall apart.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have identified what might turn into the singular problem of Minnesota Rokkr in this moment. I mean, this just feels like, I don't know, like someone's doing like a voodoo spell on them, where they just turn into a different, like just the luck even is not on their side. You just feel like they're going to lose every single gunfight. If you're watching OpTic's POV, you're just expecting them to win it. Bad juju on the map 5s from Minnesota. By the way, Shotzi, perfect 5-0 start right now for the moment. I mean, obviously a map, if you get a cruise missile on, just utterly devastating. You might get pelted by one nade, but still just going to heal up and right back doing what Shotzi does best. Of course, the first blood goes their way. Of course, he knows exactly where accuracy is going to be playing. OpTic can take their time in this 4v3.
For all that, the game's not going great here for Minnesota Rokkr. I don't think accuracy was going to position himself to let Shotzi do that again. Seems like a distraction smoke over towards B's side. Does it do anything here for Rokkr, though? If anything, no, it's actually eluded them to where OpTic may well be going. Plenty of noise here for Linz to deal with. Shotzi will be dead to rights pretty much immediately. It made that a little bit more stressful than it needed to be. And Kenny gets there for the trade. Waiting to follow up with his own. Dashi now left. And eventually around goes Rokkr's way. Great shots coming in from Awakening. And maybe they can just steady the ship here, Chance. They needed that round.
Yeah, no, if I'm Linz, I'm taking a deep breath, too. That was real close to being a problem. Shout out to that final hip fire bullet for connecting. He makes a fantastic play, right? Like, Shotzi gets the information. You got accuracy on the bridge. You got Awakening, like, over back bricks. Let's just wrap this bomb over towards the other side. If Linz loses that gunfight, round is done. And I mean the first one that was, like, off cam. He, like, sets his team up for at least a 3v3, slows the rotation down. But even the second one that we did see, if Linz doesn't get that, very different round. So, again, Rookie of the Year, the shining light we were looking for from Rokkr. He has delivered us. And Rokkr, a completely open A side as well. Kenny, the only player nearby, and that's not going to really do too much. Smoke's out, bomb's going to get planted. A true 4v4.
Minnesota Rokkr, when they have got this side of the map under control, all of a sudden, it does look difficult to break, but Pred on the flag taking his time, but needs to start making a move because accuracy will find Shotzi as well. He's a very noisy boy. And Linz will find another kill on the Dashi. Pred now in a 1 versus 3. That just seems very improbable. Next kill's obviously massive for the side of Rokkr. They'll win around it, but if Pred can make this a 1 versus 2, not going to happen. Accuracy with the read. Really good round coming in from Rokkr, calling it back.
Yeah, just to stop the bleeding. And again, like, that's a good play call coming out from Minnesota Rokkr. Just a nice little blind counter. Send 4 players straight over towards A. OpTic completely unprepared for that setup. And even for the first blood to roll through, I mean, it was Linz again, that first player from Minnesota to strike. So, nice little bounce back is there. Linz, Rookie of the Year, candidate again, making plays. Still down, though, for Minnesota Rokkr, but if you're OpTic now, of course, the tides turn just a little bit. Things aren't as easy as it once was. Got to strap in and play some clean Call of Duty. They're roaming towards this A site, and Linz is going to be that lone defender.
OpTic can't find the opening break. It's Linz again, who actually comes in to help out through the mid-map, but maybe gives up a little bit of control over towards right there for the trade again. It's 4 in a row from Linz. Can't get away from the jaws of Kenny. Bomb will go down over towards A. Split up from Minnesota Rokkr in terms of how they're going to attack this, but a 2 versus 2. OpTic Texas, can they defend?
Yeah, and Vivid's going to get in position and then just wait. They're both going to have to clear out different things. It looks like P2 is mostly cleared out by Vivid. He's made the cross. Accuracy swung all the way around. You know these players are going to be doubled up around Ticket.
First kill will be huge. Accuracy information is there for OpTic Texas. Oh, and he's killed his teammate with the grenade. Maybe he could have went a little bit better for Minnesota Rokkr there, as OpTic Texas will close that one out. I think they always would have. The positioning was good. The bomb was down. Things are looking nice. Yeah. Not necessarily the most of ideal grenades from accuracy, but I think it would have been a difficult position anyway.
No, I mean, that's just a freebie kill for Kenny. Seals the deal. I don't know if the nade actually got the... Are you confident it was the nade, or it might have been the player?
I think it was the nade, you know.
Either way, Minnesota can't get that one. Linz, the shining light for the team, got you 2 in that round. Nobody else on Minnesota able to deliver. And OpTic have effectively stopped the bleeding. You're right back on defense. Sort of deja vu all over again, though. Once again, Kenny, the only man to look over this A site. They're trusting their retakes around A. And Kenny being a little bit more aggressive this time around, but the stun's going to back him down. So another 4v4 with the bomb down at A. OpTic trying to retake again.
Kenny. He's thinking about it, but he has actually just slipped the net. Finds the first kill onto Awakening. Now Dashi, over from the top red side, needs to assert some calmness over this situation. They need to start finding some picks. Shotzi is there to trade out the kill. His accuracy will find Pred. 2 versus 2. Next kill is huge. Lin's just playing his life, as is Vivid, but Shotzi will find him. They know exactly where Lin's is. It's a 1v2. Shots in. Tadashi are solid. Can he find a second?
Linz!
As well. And you, French Phenom. His Linz will find a second. 4-3. Back and forth. Shotzi doesn't get the read, but Linz, like a buck in this situation. Huge moment for Rokkr.
Bro, who cares about Rookie of the Year? Honestly, it's whatever. It's MVP. Maybe that we should be talking about. This dude's been out of control the entire series. Even in the hard points, he was sort of the guy. Like, again, you have a devastating loss on that Karachi control. It's like weird vibes going at a new hard point. Lin's opening break just starts to fry. Again, every round we're there on the back foot, Lin's has been the star. And yeah, if I'm on OpTic, don't go to his side of the map. Run it straight down over towards B. Middle of the map under complete control. Stuns out and bound on everybody. And Vivid getting a lot of tags in, yet to find that first blood. As maybe a more default round is able to stabilize, but Linz is just a nightmare right now.
Vivid not having necessarily the best of games so far. Those shaky shots at the beginning of the round maybe showing it. Setting himself up and will find the peak on the Pred. If he can find a second kill on a Shotzi here, he would make up for some amends that haven't necessarily been made in the first couple of rounds. With 3 versus 3 now, Shotzi still staying alive in the middle of the map because, well, it's Shotzi, of course. Accuracy finds Kenny. Shotzi in such a stinking position here, but the smoke may well just help him out. Vivid just doesn't want any part of that gunfight. Shotzi continues to survive.
Look at this stuff.
Not for very long. What?
I was going to say, but Linz is on the hunt now towards the middle of the map in the chaos. You don't even get the kills to come out on top. Vivid gets traded as well. The flank doesn't pan out. Accuracy, last man standing. Bad news from OpTic. Maybe they don't have the bomb. Good news is you made it behind them. He's pinched in between 2 players, and they're going to get the kill. OpTic, they do it once again.
How on earth have OpTic Gaming won that round? Honestly, I just had Shotzi dead to rights. But I think the fact that he just stays alive and just be such a nuisance for the majority of the round, you can see him laughing. I don't think he actually believes that he survived as long as he did.
He shouldn't have either. Like, that flank should have come through a lot quicker, I think, from Linz on the red side of the map. Like, Vivid had to have just been begging for help, just dancing with Shotzi, but the call a little bit too late. 1 HP is all Shotzi needed to get out, and that is just another nail-biter round that Rokkr just cannot execute on. 1 round away, and this will be maybe, I think, our 5th reverse sweep we have had this year.
Rokkr don't want to be part of that stat line again. Oh, hey, Linz, once again, just being a menace. Couple of bullets in, just skating around red. Minnesota Rokkr, a lot of pressure over towards this A side. Big kill for Kenny to find. Rokkr didn't necessarily have an open door to walk through, but the potential was there. Pred will put the bullets in and just continues to survive. OpTic Texas starting to tighten their grip now. Huge moment. Linz will find it. Bomb goes down. 3v3. OpTic not too far away here. Rokkr need to get set up quickly. OpTic Texas also need to move fast. Dashi will find the kill onto Accuracy. 3 versus 2 in favor of OpTic. Linz, Vivid, surviving. If you're OpTic, do you have the info? Do you make the jump? Shotzi will lock it down from Ticket. Rokkr making a lot of moves, but OpTic Texas yet to jump onto the bomb. Partial defuse comes through. Vivid will find 1 kill. Dashi the other. It's now left on Linz. And if anybody's going to clutch this up for the side of Minnesota Rokkr, it's going to be the young Frenchman. The shots into the bomb carrier is going to land. Can he find a second gunfight as well? Shotzi finds it. Will he get there in time? It's looking like he will. In OpTic Texas, reverse sweep. Locked in. 6-3 in the search and destroy. What a series between these two. Minnesota Rokkr just don't have the Game 5 ice, man.
I mean, that might be one of, like, the most difficult series any OpTic player has ever had to fight in. Like, I'm not even kidding. The amount of, like, clutches that they just had to have in Respawn and Search and Destroy alone, that is clinically insane. And you can see it's just like a stress relief on the players on OpTic. Like, they just had to fight for every single inch. But as you pointed out from Minnesota Rokkr, I mean, dude, get Linz some help at this point. Linz has been playing out of